You may not be able to hear me as clear because I don't have my mic on, but over the last few weeks, the most questions I've been getting about was credit cards. So people want to know, should they get a credit card? What type of credit card should they get? And then if they get a credit card or if they already have a credit card, how should they use it? And me personally, before I became informed about this, I didn't know the answer myself. And I look at a lot of these people who's talking about credit, this and the third, and I just don't agree with their response to it. So, what we're going to do, we're going to write your credit card up here. All right, so this is going to be your credit card. Now, I'm going to start off with the fundamentals. Now this is for the people who don't have a credit card first. So when you're going to seek a credit card, don't listen to the masses and say, okay, you want to get a beginning credit card, you want to start off with some small credit, you want to go to Victoria's Secret, you want to go to Target, you want to go to these places to get a credit card. No, this is very important for the people who don't have a credit card, because think about if you had a Kmart credit card and where you'll be at right now. Kmart is what, out of business around here, right? So the ideology behind it is, if you get one of these cards from these department stores, from these jewelry stores, and let's say you had this credit card for 12 years, right? And all of a sudden, they go bankrupt. What happened is, you will lose all of that good credit history on your credit card. So it'll be looking like you have zero. If that's the only credit line that you have, only avenue of credit you have, it'll be looking like you have zero. And with a lot of people, our credit card is our longest line of credit history, because you can keep it forever. You're not trying to keep your mortgage forever. You're not trying to keep your car note forever. So you want to keep those revolving credit lines healthy and forever. All right. So what type of credit card should I get then, Mel? So what type of credit card you should get is, you want to go with a big bank. That's what you want to do. Go with a big bank. So you want to get a credit card with something like Bank of America, Capital One, Wells Fargo, Citi. You want to get one of those. Me personally, I would say go with Bank of America or go with Capital One. So you want to go, and if you have no credit, you want to get a secure credit card. That's what you want to do. So the reason I'm telling you to choose one of these credit cards is because more than likely they will be around over your lifetime. See, a Kmart, a Sears, a Circuit City, Best Buy, these things are non-existent and becoming non-existent. So if I personally had opened up a credit card with them and the company becomes non-existent, then all of my good credit card history has become non-existent. So therefore, we want to keep the good credit history. So I go and I get this card right here from Capital One. So what I'm going to get, if I don't have any credit, I'm not even going to risk going in there and applying for a credit card. What I'm going to go in there and say, hey, I would like to have a secure credit card. So by me asking for a secure credit card, what I'm doing is I will have to give them money to then put on the card, which is my money, and that whatever I take in there will be my credit line. The lowest I've seen was about 300 and whatnot. So depending on who you go with, it'll be different numbers or different levels that they want you to have. So 500 is a good rule of thumb to have, and also a good starting point to practice with, sort of say. Now, so let's just say this is my credit card. This is my limit, 500. We're gonna put 500 over top of the credit card. Now, so what society and the masses tell me is, hey, now you got your 500 credit card, and like I said, you want this to be with a big bank because this is called our forever card. We're never going to close this card. This card is what's going to be the key cornerstone, to setting up financial wealth, independence, and create the financial foundation and soil now to our generational wealth income to our kids and us teaching them. So this right here is the granddaddy of all granddaddies. This is your card. This is your starting point. So we have a secure credit card with 500 limit. So society says, hey, in order to be a good creditor, we want you to not spend over 30% on your credit card. 30%. You'd be like, well, hold on. I can't spend over 30%. But my credit limit is 500. So if I have 500 and I can't spend over 30% of my card, then you telling me that my limit is what? $150? No. See, that's what people want you to think, believe. I don't know why. So what they're saying is not to carry over a balance of $150. So even though you will be playing with fire, you can max your credit card out every single month. But the balance cannot go over $150 because that's 30% of your total limit. So your limit is 500. If you go out to the club one day and you feeling good, or it's Valentine's Day and you want to go pop some bottles, get a dozen roses and be the man, you may go over $150. So let's just say, like, it's Valentine's Day. You go treat your lady out, rent a nice car, take her to a nice dinner, get a nice hotel. You're feeling good. So you're going to go over 150. You know what I'm saying? Let's just say you even go to 500, right? So if you go to 500, your whole plan / goal is to not carry this 500 balance over to next month. You want it at this right here or below. So if you don't have the whole 500 to pay off your spending spree that weekend, you just want to make sure it does not go over 150. Do not carry over on your balance. So you will have to pay that down until at the most it gets to 150. So you can still stay at 30% and stay in the creditor's good graces. But now, me personally, a person who went from a 385 credit score, where we going to put that at? We're going to put that right here. 385 credit score to an 820. I did that in 5 months. I did that in 5 months. And which is I was paying this credit company who fixed credit to help me. And in 6 months, I think it was 8 months, they took my score up about 50 points. In 5 months, my score went up. You do the math, whatever. What's that? 420, 435 in 5 months. 5 months. And you say, well, okay, what did you do? So, since we are talking about credit cards, we're going to stay with the basics. We're going to stay with the credit card. So, what I did, I had closed out my longest, oldest line of credit, which was my Bank of America credit card that I got when I was 17, I believe, 17, 18. I know I was in high school when I got it. And this was crazy because I think I was making like $5.15 an hour. And they gave me a credit card with a 7,000 limit. 7,000 limit. And when I'm pretty sure we all know when you're grown and you're adult, and you making 50,000, they press you about giving you a 7,000 credit limit. But I had a 7,000 credit limit, and what happened was once I paid it off, I canceled it. I paid it off. I called him. I said, I'm done with this card. I said, I don't want it no more. It only brought me pain. It didn't mess up my credit. I went to go get a car. I had an interest rate of 21% on my car. All because I didn't know how to use the credit. So now, what I did was, I went and got me a secure credit card. Because right now, I don't have no credit card because I closed my oldest line of credit. I started with the same 500 that I'm telling you all to start with. I got a secure credit card. And then from my secure credit card, my rule of thumb was to not go over 9%. This was my new credit limit far as carrying over balance. So, whenever I would use this card, the balance that I will carry over will not be over $45. You'll be like, well, that's crazy. You got a 500 credit limit. Yes, and I use that 500 credit limit too. So I got hip to the whole credit system. Now, this is also why I tell you all to go for Big Bank. Now, when you're choosing your card, you want to get with a card that gives you either points, cashbacks, or some type of rewards. Because, like I said, this is going to be your granddaddy card. You're never throwing this card away. So what I did was, all my recurring bills that were able to be paid by Visa, I had them automatically coming out of this 500 right here every month. But I made sure once it was time to pay the credit card off and make sure that balance was low, that the balance would not exceed $45, which in turn kept me at 9% or under. So you see these letters I have right here, A, B, C, D. These are representing the grades that you have with the percentages that you're spending on your credit card. Anything under 74% is an E. So don't even ask about getting extra credit or where your credit sit, whatever. You spending over 74%, carrying over balance over 74% on your credit card is an E. So this is where they want you all to be in the C category. Because just like we learned in school, a C is what? Passing. Well, I think a D is passing, but a C is average. A C is average. So if you had 30%, they said, well, you're on par with the average American who spends 30% on a credit card. No. Why be average when you can be extraordinary? So if you stay in this category right here, you're in the A plus category for credit card utilization. You stay in here, these were the big boys can go and get whatever they want. You don't ask about, dang, am my credit score good enough or what? No, you just know. You go in there and you say, I want this. When I went to go get my new car, I said, hey, I want that car right there. They said, well, how much you putting down? I said, nothing. But my previous car that I paid $20,000 for with a 21% interest rate, I had to put about probably about $5,000 down. But the next car that I got that cost me over $100,000, I didn't have to put no money down because I walked in there with my credit score at. Well, we're gonna put it right here. I walked in there with an 800 credit score. See, the difference is I had an 800 with the second car. The first car, I had between a 385 and a 4 something. I was lucky even to get that car for real. But what I'm telling you all is this is 9% right here. 9% of 500. If 500 is your credit limit on your secure credit card, you don't want to carry over a balance that's over $45 if you want to stay in the A category. Now, if you want to be average, you can go in the C category, 30%. You don't want to go over 49%. 30% is the sweet spot. Well, creditors still look at you as doing good. Now, if you want to be in between, 10% to 29%. That's where you want to be. But any worst case scenario, you don't want to be over 49%. The best case scenario, you don't want to be over 9%. You can max this credit card out, but don't let the balance be over 9%. That carries over. So now, to the people who, I can leave that right there, that's my score. To the people who already have cards, well, I'm pretty sure you all found some value in that also, but if you already have a card, now I'm going to tell you this lady I went to, she had 20 credit cards. A lady I helped with her credit, 20 credit cards. Now, one of her credit cards had a late payment. She was about, 60, 50 or something. 20 credit cards. Now, one of them had a late payment. She had 19 years of credit history on each one of these cards. 19 years. In order to be in the A category with your credit card as far as credit history, you need to have nine plus years. Now, and that's with any credit, line of credit that you had. So don't let no one tell you nothing different. Any line of credit that you have. So there will be people out there that tell you, hey, instead of applying for a credit limit increase on your credit card, where they're going to only give you $3,000, you might as well go apply for a whole new credit card where they're going to give you a $10,000 limit, which is you increased your overall credit availability by $7,000 instead of by, what I say, $2,000, $3,000. Now, see, that's why I tell people you need to find out what game you're in. Are you in the game of improving your credit score, or are you in the game of improving the amount of credit that you have at your disposal? Because you can't play both of them at the same time. Because if I go and I apply for a new credit card, it's going to open up what's called another line of credit. So what that's going to do is lower this right here, my credit history. So if I had this one credit card now that has this 9 years right here. And then I'm like, well, I want a credit card with a higher limit. Instead of me applying for the credit card credit limit increase and they only giving me $3,000, I'm gonna apply for a new card, gonna give me $10,000. So what's gonna happen with you being in that A category and creditors looking at you like, oh man, yeah, you got 9+ credit year history. Boom. You're gonna get a new credit card. Let's just say this is a new, well, we write right here. New card. This your new card. MasterCard. This your new MasterCard. This card, remember, this 500. This card right here got, let's say, 5,000 limit. You say, damn, they gave me a 5,000, they gave me a 500. They gave you 5,000 because of this. Because you're in the A category, you got 9+ years, and they don't look at you as a risk or a liability. So now, but what happened was, these 9 years, since you open up a new credit line, this get divided by these two cards. So you take 9 divided by 2, that's right there going to give you 4.5. So now your 9-year good credit history then turns to 4.5 years. And you remember I told you that you need to have 9 years to be in that A category as far as credit history. So now you just crushed your credit history. When only if you would apply for a credit limit, you would only hurt yourself in the inquiries of credit. So you ask yourself, okay, I have the credit card, I already have the credit card, so how do I improve my credit? One thing, I'm gonna give you, these are only the basics because you can go a little bit deeper into it. These are the basics. The very basic thing that you can do is just make sure you get to this category right here, 9%. 9%. Then we'll go from there. 9%. That's what you want to do. That's the basic thing. So this is on credit cards. So I hope you all have value from this. If you did, let me know. Put any comments under there. I'm very responsive. Talk to you all. I want to find out what questions you have, what you liked, what you didn't like. If you have any rebuttal about anything that I said, let's talk about it. If this helped you, if it gave you any value, hit the like button for me. Share it to your friends. Share it to your family members who do have credit cards, or your kids that's going off to college who are looking to open up credit cards, things of that nature. And I'm going to put a video out about college and credit also, because I had a parent ask me about when should they help their child develop credit and what's the best way of going about it. So it's a roadmap for that too. But any questions, comments, or concerns, hit me up in the comments. Let's talk. Let's get it on.